And welcome to a brand new episode of This Week in Disney History. I am your host, Milo Beasley. And this week, we have a great week for you. So with no further ado, why don't we go ahead and jump right into it in this week in Disney history. We're going to start off with October 18th. So October 18th, 1967. The Jungle Book, the original, not the one with Bill Murray as Baloo, but the original Jungle Book hits theaters near you. I'm a fan. So I like books. Jungles, not so much, but you put them together and I dig them. Also on this date, October 18th, 1971, President Richard Nixon visits the Magic Kingdom to pay a visit to the newly opening Hall of Presidents just so he can see what his audio animatronic looks like. I don't know about you, but that seems pretty narcissistic to me. Where did we leave off? October 18th, 2019, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil is released at theaters near you as well. Already off to an awkward start, so we're going to move on to October 19th, 1989, Body Wars. Body Wars makes its debut, its opening day at the Epcot Center. It showed you, it went inside the body, it showed you illnesses and what you could do and what the body does to fight them. Maybe we should reopen Body Wars. Also on this date, October 19th, 1996, Super Soap Weekends, the very first of the Super Soap Weekends premieres at the MGM Studios. If you're not familiar, they had a ton of soap opera stars come to MGM Studios and do appearances and a cavalcade. They waved. It was basically Susan Lucci and everyone else who I don't know their names. And moving on to October 20th. Yes, I can say 20th now. 1997, Bear in the Big Blue House premieres on the Disney Channel. This would be a staple on the Disney Channel and soon make its way over to MGM Studios, where there was on the Playhouse Junior, right? Did I say that right? Stage. I should just get this guy to finish up for me. 2006, October 20th, 2006. Return to Halloweentown. We talked about Halloweentown, the first one last week. Well, this is the fourth Halloweentown. The return to debuts on the Disney Channel. Of course, there's a Disney Channel original, which you can catch on the Disney Plus right now. Like, don't do it now. Like, wait like 6 minutes until this video is over. 2017, October 20th, 2017. The world premiere of Disney Pixar's Coco. This was actually in an international film festival in Mexico. So Mexico was able to see, I mean, rightfully so, the world premiere of Coco. Absolutely one of my favorite movies, especially in the past couple of years, but just in general, one of my favorite Disney movies ever. Hopefully you guys feel the same. And with Day of the Dead coming up, Dias de las Muertes, did I do that right? We will be celebrating with a viewing of Coco. And if it gets cold, we'll be drinking. You know, oh, come on, how could I not go there? We'll move on. Okay, so this is a fun one here. So October 21st, 1951, there's a Goofy movie that hits theaters titled Fathers Are People. I didn't know that they weren't But this isn't the interesting part. The interesting part, at least to me, is that during this film, during this cartoon, Goofy runs through the hospital exclaiming that he is now a father. So, I only know of one son to Goofy. So could this October 21st, 1957, Goofy becomes a dad? Is this considered the birth of Max Goof? What do you guys think? I mean, obviously a Goofy movie wasn't until later on, 1995, I believe. But this is 1951, the first appearance, the first mention of Goofy being a father. Also on this date, October 21st, 1972, a 3-day event at the Disneyland park celebrating, or I guess commemorating, a campaign for Winnie the Pooh for president starts on this day. It's, again, a 3-day event. They're showing Winnie the Pooh movie in the Fantasyland Theater. There's appearances by Pooh and his friends. And unfortunately, Winnie the Pooh did not win election in 1972. Perhaps we can see him as a write-in candidate in 2020. So please mark your ballots appropriately. 1998, another interesting thing on this day. The Sonny Bono Copyright Term Extension Act goes into is passed. What this allows, this extends copyright law for another 20 years. So copyright law had been the life of the copyright holder plus 50 years. This actually extended it for another 70 years, which actually extended the copyright for many Disney characters for a little bit length of time. So again, as you know, we get to these further and further years, we're going to see some Disney characters copyrights up for grabs. So hopefully nobody does anything malicious with them once they do. October 22nd, I went off on a tangent, sorry. October 22nd, 1971, the Stoleport begins service at the Walt Disney World. Now, what is the Stoleport? It was a private airport just outside the Magic Kingdom. It was so successful, it lasted a whole 14 months. October 22nd, 1982, 3 weeks after the opening of Epcot, Epcot Center finally has its formal grand opening celebration event. So, just 3 weeks late, I guess. We're going to go ahead because October 23rd, actually, 1971, Magic Kingdom did the same thing. So, like, just 11 years earlier, they waited 3 weeks before Magic Kingdom actually held their grand opening event at the Magic Kingdom. So, but also on this date, October 23rd, 1941, we're going to go back a little bit. I know we started with 71, but we're going to go back. 1941, Dumbo has its world premiere on Broadway in New York City at the Broadway Theater. So it was not like the live action people. It wasn't. It was the cartoon was shown at the Broadway Theater in New York City. New York City. It's the second time I've used this in 2 weeks. Also, October 23rd, 1953, a little cartoon titled Rugged Bear debuts. And what is important about this date is also the debut of Humphrey the Bear. Humphrey is a staple at the Storybook Circus. You'll see pictures. He's not there, but there's signs and posters. And I'm just going to go ahead and move on to our last day this week, October 24th. October 24th, 1965, the Orlando Sentinel newspaper breaks a huge story that the mystery industry that bought up a ton of land in Central Florida is actually Disney. So that is when the news breaks that Disney is coming to Central Florida. So it was 1965, so it's like 13 years later, here we are. That's not right. October 24th, 1994, one of the best Disney Channel cartoons ever. And you're not going to be able to argue. Gargoyles makes its debut on the Disney Channel. 1994, gosh. So old. And finally, we're going to talk about this date, October 24th, 2014. Disney finally confirms the rumors. Yes, it is true. The Sorcerers Hat is leaving Disney's Hollywood Studios in 2015. So it's announced finally. I don't know. Are you pro Sorcerer's Hat? Anti Sorcerer's Hat? I didn't know any different prior to when I first started going to Disney. So I had only known the Sorcerer's Hat because I came after the Millennium Celebration. So it's still kind of weird to me. I've seen pictures before, and obviously I've been there after, and it still seems kind of weird. But anyway, so thank you for hanging out with me this week as we chatted about that Disney history. So if you could please subscribe, follow, like, share, do all those cool things. Please, please, please. And yeah, so thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next week for This Week in Disney History.